Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Yes, it's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. A wonderful Friday it is. Here we are once again, and thank you guys so much for being along with us. And we're going to be here for a whole full hour. Why? Because the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're going to be with you for a whole hour with all kinds of good conversation and information. And we want you to get involved with the show. Now, a lot of you know what this show is all about. You've been around long enough to know. But for the benefit of the people who may be here for the very first time, we get started by, as the host, getting things rolling, by getting you in the conversation. And how do you get into the conversation? Well, you have a computer, a keyboard, you have fingers. Okay, use those fingers on the keyboards, type whatever you want to type in, and I will definitely see you right there on the big screen, and we'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what the show is all about. Free exchange of opinions and ideas. Now, while you're typing in information, if you'd like to say something special, even if it's just say hello, that's okay too. That's okay. We'll see you right there. You can talk to people who come in as well as me. And of course, if you're wondering how long this show has been on the air, well, we've been here for quite a while, so you kind of missed a lot. But it doesn't matter. You're here now, so get acquainted with us, get involved, and get into the show. Now, don't forget, when you type in your information, of course, let us know. We'll see your name, we'll acknowledge you, providing that you're going to type in or whatever you're going to type in conversation, we'll acknowledge you as well. It's a personal touch show. That's what we like to call it. And of course, we'll be around here bringing you all of that information. Now, being that this is Friday, you know that in a few hours, for some of you, maybe some of you guys work from 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, something like that. When your day is totally over, your weekend is falling upon us. Your weekend will be around, and that's what's coming up. Now, a lot of you may be at work right now, and you may be on your coffee break. And what they call that coffee break, it may be about 15, 20 minutes that you're allowed a coffee break, and you can do whatever you want with that coffee break. Well, take the coffee break and sit at your desk. Drink your coffee and sit at your desk and just relax and watch the show. And when that 15 or 20 minutes is up, whenever your coffee break is up, you can still be at your desk and you can get back to work at the same time and do something what they call multitasking. A lot of you guys too around the water cooler talking about what happened last night in sports and all of that. And of course, that's what you do at the office. So we're so glad to have you aboard with us. Now, you may not be at the office. You may be at your breakfast table or some other place. Wherever you congregate, that's where we are, because we're all around the world. First of all, we come live from New York City. That's where we originate, but we're all across the world, all around the world. No matter where you go, we're right there. As long as you have a good hotspot and Wi-Fi, we're right there with you, and we invite you to tell all your family and friends. Now, those of you who are watching us for the first time on Facebook, remember, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Those are our 3 platforms. But if you're watching us on Facebook right now, take the time out to tag all of your friends, if not all, at least some of your friends, your chosen few, and let them know that we're on there. You could tag this show to them, and they see that tag coming from you. They'll know it's from you. They'll trust you. They'll click onto it, and it brings them directly here. And guess what? They'll see you, and they'll learn that this show is actually on the air. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll be back again and again, hopefully. So that's why we would like you to tag all of your friends. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, that's our other platform. I always advise you to click onto our YouTube channel, get there and subscribe to us, right? How do you do that? You take your mouse, drag it over there where you see that display where it says subscribe, right? Anywhere you see that word subscribe, just click onto that. Click onto subscribe, and that's all it takes, and you're right there. Now, the purpose of getting you to subscribe to the program, first of all, it helps us out. It brings in more viewerships, but not only that, when we are on the air and you happen to forget about this show at any time on a Friday or a Thursday when we do Talk Back Live, it gives you an instant message that will pop up letting you know something is happening. He's on the air, so we'll click on. And even when we're not on the air, but you get a pop-up anyway, right? That lets you know that we probably post a video or some sort, and you can go there and see what's happening, see what we're doing. Just click onto it and it brings you right to the YouTube channel. So that's all it takes. So please, if you haven't done it yet, do it right now. Click onto it. It takes no effort at all. And don't forget, it doesn't cost you anything. Everything is free of charge here. We don't charge you anything. All we ask you is to pass on the word to others. And speaking of passing on the words, those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you can do the same thing. Just pass the word along and let them know that we're out here. And the other thing that you can do, you can cut and paste our link, right? And you could, that link up there, that's right there in the browser, right? You can cut and paste that and send it to some of your friends and they'll see it too. And they'll click right on to it and they'll come right here with us. So anywhere you are, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, we're here for you. And we're going to be here for, like I said, a whole full hour. Now on the show, we do our regular routine. That's happening too. On the show, we do our regular routine. Usually, Brian Camp checks in with us, right? And he has a show called Sports Update with the latest developments in today's world of sports. However, Brian is not going to be here today for that. So what's going to happen, he was nice enough to send me all of the sports news of the day, and we'll be covering that for him. And if you have any sports related questions, I'll do my best, but Brian is he's a key man to that, but he's not going to be here today. So we're going to take care of all of that and along with sports. And not only that, later on in the program, before the whole show is over, we are going to give you movie updates, right? Now, each week, and this is especially for you guys who are new, you guys ought to know that each week we select movies direct from Turner Classic Movies. And I have my picks of the week for the weekend, all right? Because the weekend is coming up and you guys are going to be doing a lot of things, whatever it is. If your weather allows you to go out and do outdoor or backyard barbecues or anything like that, then so be it. But some of you may want to take the time and say, I'm going to relax a little bit at home. And with that, I'm going to catch up on some sports. And if it's not sports, I'll catch up on some movies. Now, that's the department where I come in because I have the picks of the weeks where I am going to relay to you some of the movies that I picked out this week for your weekend that you could add to your list of some of the movies that you may want to watch. And all of those things are coming up, and it's right here on the Coffee Hour. So we thank you again for being along with us. Remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other broadcast facility, publication, or as you call social media outlet where we're broadcasting on. We take the responsibility of everything we say. And of course, again, we thank you for being along. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, hello to Mary out there from Brooklyn, New York, out here with us. Mary, thank you so much for being along with us. It is April. Here we are, April. And it's the 12th day of April. Finally, we're moving along. We're chugging along. It's almost the middle of the month. Again, you see how fast the time goes? It just goes so fast. But April is here. And in this month of April, we, celebrate a lot of things, of course. This month and this whole month of April, we celebrate Scottish American Heritage Month. So all of my brothers and my sisters who were born in Scotland, who live in Scotland, yeah, we're out there with you. We're here. We're broadcasting in Scotland. And those of you who are here in the United States, either visiting or maybe you are legal and you live here, this is for you too. We celebrate that. Your heritage, your Scottish American heritage. We celebrate that. And all month long that's happening. And if you have any information or any activities that you know that's happening in the Scottish community, or maybe you have a little story to tell or history about Scotland and what happened, share that with us. share that with us. All you have to do, as I said, just use your fingers and type it all in. And of course, we'll get a chance to talk about that. I will relay that. As a matter of fact, when you type, whatever you type in, everyone sees anyway. But I still talk about it anyway. We like to acknowledge you. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating also National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Would you believe it? All right. So let's get started right away. It's National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. So with that, raise your cups and your glasses and let's get the show rolling, because remember, the coffee hour is no good without a little coffee, right? So what good is it, right? So let's shoot up a little bit. As a matter of fact, I have a grilled cheese on me. So excuse me while I eat up and shoot up. Oh, that's delicious. Grilled cheese, National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. You care to indulge? I come up with all of these things. I mean, I find them and I figure they might be of interest to you. So there you go, you have that. Also, it's National Licorice Day. So many things going on. So you might want to take a bite of the licorice. I mean, I have some right here. But these are Twizzlers. They call them Twizzlers now. But back in the old days, when we were growing up as kids, they used to be called, it was licorice. They didn't have the name Twizzler. And they were a penny. And you can buy, like, if you had 5 or 10 cents, you could buy 10 or 5 or whatever in a little bag, and you have candy all day, you know. But that's what it is. It's National Licorice Day. And I'm not going to eat the licorice just yet. Maybe I'll have one a little later on, because I'm not gonna mix it with grilled cheese. I don't want to get sick. So I'm going to stick to one thing. It's like you don't want to mix your drinks. Like if you're drinking scotch the whole night, you stick with scotch and you don't drink it with martinis or anything like that. But I have more of that a little later. But right now, we're also celebrating, since we're doing everything national, we're also, and this is for you people out in Colorado. It's National Colorado Day. So I don't care where you are in Colorado, you're in Denver, or whatever, Colorado City, or whatever, Springfield, it's there. So we're celebrating National Colorado Day for all of you people who are out in Colorado. And that means all of us celebrate, since they say National Colorado Day. So we celebrate that. So there you go. We have a lot to contend with today. Scottish American Heritage Month, National Grilled Cheese Day, Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, National Licorice Day, and National Colorado Day. Oh, it's all happening. It's all happening. But thank you for being along with us. We got so much to do, so many things to talk about. And of course, you guys probably seen that eclipse that went on, right? You know about that, right? That happened. We got the solar eclipse that happened just Monday. And a lot of people have seen it. I mentioned this on the show last night on Talkback Live. I mentioned it on Talkback Live last night. A lot of people have seen it. And depending on where you were, or depending on how your weather turned out, you know, some people didn't have all of the good weather. You know, some people had clouds like we did in New York. So we didn't get a chance to see the solar eclipse that great in view. We didn't get a chance to see all of that because it was cloudy. But people that was living in areas where the weather was clear, not a cloud in the sky, they got to see the whole Megillah. They had to see the whole totality. And it got pitch black, pitch dark. And we didn't get that pitch darkness here in New York. You know, I don't know if it's because of the clouds or whatever. It looked like we would have, But as dark as it's gotten, the darker it has gotten was if it looked like it was going to become a thunderstorm or something. It didn't get pitch black. So if you missed out on the solar eclipse, you have another 20 years, and God help you, God help us all that we will be here. I'm looking forward to it. Another 20 years. Hopefully, I have my fingers crossed. But if you guys are real young, you don't have to worry about it. You'll be here for it to see that. Anyway, so much for the eclipse. All right. So another 20 years, we'll get a chance to see it again. So what's Mary saying here? She says, what's that, a grilled cheese sandwich? Yeah, it's a grilled cheese sandwich. It is. It's a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm celebrating. It's National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Want some? Mary? Okay. Let's keep things going. Now, those of you who are going to indulge in conversation, and we hope that you do, because we love talking to you guys. We really do. What I want you to do is take the time out right now and, excuse me, gotta swallow a little bit. You indulge in conversation, and if you're going to do that, take the time and give us your weather forecast. We look for a weather forecast, and the reason why we do that is because of the fact that we like to compare notes. Now, it's not a mandatory thing that I ask for. I only ask for it. It's for you to decide whether or not you want to do it or not. And we like to hear from you. You know, you don't have to have a full-blown weather forecast. You could have a little emoji that gives me the inclination on what the weather is like, ballpark, you know, and or if you want to give us a small summary, that would be great. If you're anywhere around the world, let us know. But if you're living in the area of New York City, right, someplace in New York City, or in the vicinity of New York City, don't worry about that. I'll take care of all of that. But for the rest of you around the world and across the country, give us your weather forecast. We really would appreciate that. Let's see. Mary said, I had one for breakfast this morning with turkey bacon. That's a good one. Now, there's a lot of ways to do your grilled cheese sandwich. You can do it with bacon. Some people do it with bacon. She had hers with turkey bacon. And I think sausage is a good thing, you know, but this one is plain. This one is plain. I'm almost through with it now, you know, but it's delicious. Some people, you can use it with whole wheat bread, white bread, depending on what kind of bread you like. I do whole wheat because I think it's healthier that way. I haven't had white bread in a long time. But nevertheless, you can fix it any way you want, have your coffee with it. Okay, now we talked about the weather, and I'm going to give you my weather forecast right now. All right. Again, so those of you who are going to join us on the weather, please do that. Give us your weather forecast. We love to hear from you. We have a weather forecast here in New York. It's 56 degrees outside, and they're talking about a gale warning. Now, we're down in the dumps in the weather right now in the weather department. It's not raining right now. We may get a little rain, but as it stands right now, it's going to escalate as the weekend moves on. So it's not like we call a washout weather forecast. We get drizzles here and there. So let's get started right now with that. This is my weather forecast for New York City. New York City only. This is what we have. Showers this morning. We've got showers this morning, becoming a steady rain during the afternoon hours. Thunder is possible. We'll have a high 63 degrees. It's about time for the thunder. The weather's getting warmer, and so the heat goes up, hits the sky. Winds will be southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 90%, so that's almost a sure shot of rain. For tonight, partly cloudy, partly to mostly cloudy. Now, that's when the rain is over. Rain is over at this particular point. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, low 48 degrees. And winds will be southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And for Saturday, my favorite day of the week. I only wish that every Saturday was a sunny day, but we can't always have it. It's going to be cloudy But the good news is no rain in the forecast for Saturday. So it's going to be cloudy. We'll have a high of 53 degrees. Winds will be west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And for a Saturday night, you're going out on the town. It's going to be cloudy skies early, then partly cloudy after midnight. So you can leave the rain gear home, right? We'll have a low around 45 degrees, and winds will be west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. It gets better. It's escalating, right? Because when we wrap up our weekend and head for Sunday and get ready for the grind on Monday, and whatever your Sunday morning activity is, you could definitely leave home the umbrella. Is going to be intervals of clouds and sunshine, and we'll have a slight chance of a rain shower. I don't know if you might want to take the umbrella there. You don't need a lot of heavy rain gear. We'll have a high around 69 degrees. So the temperatures get up there. We'll have sunshine, and winds will be southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's our weather forecast here in New York City. And our current temperature is 56 degrees. And it seems from where I sit that the sun is trying to, it's kind of, I don't know, it's peekaboo or even struggling to get past the clouds, right? That's what it's doing. It's struggling to get past the clouds. So there you have the weather forecast. For those of you, again, who want to indulge in conversation, I see Brian is out there with a lot of sun out there. Brian is not here. He won't be on the air today, but he's watching. You know, he's sitting back laughing, saying, ha, 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 you got to go solo today. I don't mind. I've been going solo before he even came on the show anyway. So I'm kind of used to it. Anyway, he's got a lot of sunshine in Charlotte, North Carolina. He says it's presently 60 degrees there in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're not far off with him in our present temperatures, and it's going up to 69 today. And lots of sunshine. I could imagine a lot of outdoor activities coming your way out in Charlotte, North Carolina for the weekend and what have you. You know, but I'm glad that you guys have that great weather wherever you are. Now, some people are not fortunate enough to have the weather that we're having, you know. So excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, my eat up and shoot up. Yes, sir. Have me a little grilled cheese sandwich. It's National Grilled Cheese Day. And Mary had hers with turkey bacon, which is good. And so I just figured I get out to you. Also, it's, again, Brian, you just walking in along with National Cheese Month, the grilled cheese sandwich month, day, I should say. We also celebrate National Licorice Day. I'm going to have a little licorice later on. Right now, I think we better get started because we're a little behind talking to you, but that's okay because I love talking to you. You're my first priority. Talk about sports. Now, we already know, before we get into all of that, and I don't have any news, but I can say this off the top of my head without a teleprompter, but we mourn the death of Heisman Trophy winner O.J. Simpson, who died. O.J. Simpson died with his longtime battle of cancer, prostate cancer to be exact, which is one of the reasons why I'm such an advocate about that. I always tell men to make sure they get checked up by their doctor. And so OJ, I didn't even know that he was sick in that department. I had no idea. But then again, you know, he kept that private anyway. Even when he was doing bad with it, he got online, he posted videos saying that he's doing great and he's over it. But he was like keeping it private. And probably that's why we didn't really hear too much about it. So his family says that they would like if the public would be kind enough to give them privacy, and we will do that. Give the family privacy, but in the meantime, we send our condolences out to the Simpson family. And may he rest in peace, but he left a great legacy in football, in the football field. So we send our condolences out there. Okay, the NFL announced the Green Bay Packers will be the Philadelphia Eagles' opponent for first ever game in South America. The game will be played in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Friday, September 6th, one night after the traditional season opener, and that's involving the defending SB champions. It will be the first time since 1970 that the NFL has played a Friday night game in week one. The Eagles has been announced as the home team at the Corinthian Arena. That's the home of the Brazilian soccer club. And the arena was used both by the 2014 World Cup and the 2016 Olympics. Shohei Ohtani is facing federal charges related to the alleged theft of the millions of dollars from the slugger. And his best friend, he must have been taken for a ride by his best friend. Apatini, I believe his name is Apati, if I'm pronouncing that right. And the last name is Mitsuhara. Mitsuhara is negotiating to plead guilty that the investigation is coming to an end, and the investigation is now relieving Ohtani of any wrongdoing at this particular point. So let's keep our fingers crossed for him. The Nyla brothers turned National Siblings Day into quite a family affair. Josh Nyla and his younger brother Bo. Wednesday night, the Cleveland Guardians defeated the Chicago White Sox 7-6. Josh Nyla connected for a solo home run with one out in the fourth inning, and Bo Nyla smashed a two-run home run later on. And this is the 50th anniversary of Hank Aaron's historic 715 home run right off of my hero Al Downing to surpass Babe Ruth. On Monday, there was a new statue at the Baseball Hall of Fame and a new commemorated stamp from the U.S. Postal Service. And congratulations to South Carolina winning the women's national championship as they defeated the Iowa Seahawks. The Iowa Hawkeyes, 87-75. It was Dawn Staley, it was her third championship as a coach, and it was Caitlin Clark's final college game as a player as she gets ready to head off to NBA for her career, the WNBA. Congratulations to UConn. That's the men's national championship title game as the UConn defeated Purdue 75-60. Over 14.82 million viewers tuned in, according to the Nielsen ratings. However, that wasn't the surpass. They did surpass the 18.87 who watched Southern California. That's South Carolina. South Carolina defeated Caitlin Clark and Iowa last Sunday. And on this day, April 12th, 1931, Joe McCarthy debuts as New York Yankees manager. In 1940, the NFL cuts clipping penalties from 25 yards to 15 yards. In 1960, Major League Baseball, Chicago White Sox owner Bill Veeck debuts exploding scoreboard at Comiskey Park. In 1961, General Douglas MacArthur declines offer to become National Major League Baseball commissioner. In 1970, New York Yankees dedicated plaques to Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio. In 1988, Frank Robinson replaces Cal Ripken as manager of the Baltimore Orioles. In 1992, the second lowest NBA scoring game in NBA history, that was Detroit Pistons 72 and the New York Knicks 61. Now, would you take Scotty Scheffler or the field at the Masters? Well, the number one golfer in the world is the biggest favorite ahead of the first golf major of the season. Scheffler is plus 400 to win his second green jacket, and no other golfer has odds better than 11 plus 1100 at the Bet MGM. Now, Scheffler hasn't finished lower than second in the first 3 seconds or the first 3 starts, haven't finished outside the top 20 this year. Scheffler's worst finish in 2024 is a tie for 17th at the American Express in January. Connor Gartland scored twice, and the Vancouver Canucks beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights 4-3 on Monday night. Quinn Hughes and Brock Brosa each had scored and assists for the Canucks, and JT Miller had 3 assists. And let's see, I think his name is Arturas Silvos, I believe that's how you spell the name or pronounce the name, finished with 20 saves and his third start of the season. And Garland played in his 400th NHL game, and several Canuck players sported Garland's image on a T-shirt. Forward JT Miller made a commemorated and their commemoration for the milestone. And the Boston Red Sox shortstop Trevor Story will undergo season-ending surgery on his left shoulder. Chief baseball official or officer Craig Breslow said Tuesday that Story initially was diagnosed with a dislocated shoulder, and that was his left shoulder, in a 8-6 win over the Los Angeles Angels on Friday after he dove to make a play. Story was seen Monday by Dr. Evan O'Donnell, and he's a shoulder specialist in Boston. And of course, his manager, Alex Cora, said Tuesday before his team home opener against the Baltimore Orioles that the news wasn't positive. And he said there was a concern with the bone structure. And Breslow told reporters Story had been diagnosed with a fractured glenoid in his left shoulder and would need surgery with a recovery time of 6 months. And that's it in sports. And again, I just want to repeat that O.J. Simpson, as you already know, passed away. And of course, we want to give our deepest sympathies out to his family and his friends, and of course, his fans too, everyone who knew him. But right now, the family is asking that we keep that at a low key and keep the privacy going. That's what they want. They want to keep the privacy going. So there you have it. It's election time. Election time is coming around. You know that, right? We've got election day on November 5th. Now, I put it out here because this is the time to talk about it. There's so many things happening with the election. And some people are undecided. Some people know exactly who they're going to vote for, without a doubt, whether or not the person is good. Now, I don't care if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're young, you're old. If you're over 18, go out and vote. Now, I always stress that young people, especially young people, get out there and vote. Because a lot of young people are being so discouraged. And you know something, all of us as adults, baby boomers, people that are older, really ought to know better and really ought to set the example for younger people, especially the politicians. Set the example for younger people. These kids are not stupid. You know, they know what's happening. The only thing that I'm frowning on about it, that a lot of them are saying, well, I'm not going to go to the polls. I'm going to let it go. I don't want to vote for Biden. I don't want to vote for Trump more. I don't want to vote for anyone because there's no choice. Well, you know, here's the story. This is what we have. This is what we're getting. This is exactly what we get. We don't have the choices that we once had a long time ago. So this is what we have right now. And of course, we have a third party candidate, which you know is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which, I say, this is what I say. If you don't go out and vote, you got to vote for Trump more. If you vote the third party candidate has to vote for Trump more. Have you heard Robert Kennedy Jr.'s stance saying that Biden is more of a threat than Donald Trump more? Have you heard that? I'm wondering if Robert F. Kennedy Sr. is rolling over in his grave, and how proud is he really with his son, Robert Jr. Anyway, he's running on the independent ticket. There's no way in hell he's going to win the presidency. But, this kind of like destroys everything as far as the candidates. We have two candidates. We have the Republican and the Democrat, and if you have a third party in there, that's going to like damage a little thing. But listen, the point is you get out there and vote. Whoever you vote for, that's on you, but you got to get out there and vote and make your vote count. Make it count, make it absolutely count, because we're in a situation now where we're fighting for democracy, and here I am, I'm standing for democracy. So, I don't have to mention any names. You know who to vote for if you're like me, you're fighting for democracy. All of you women, as you already know, that Roe v. Wade has been abolished, wiped out. And Donald Trump more is really bragging about it. I did it. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did it. And so Joe Biden did and I heard it this week. He did a campaign ad. And he comes out with a lot of different campaign ads. Sometimes it looks like he comes out one every week, because every week is something new. He came out with this campaign ad, and in the contents of that campaign ad, he says, if Donald Trump more, well, he didn't say Donald Trump more, I said Donald Trump more. If he becomes your president, think about it. If he becomes your president, what other freedoms can he take away from you? He didn't mention everything that he's going to take away from you, but he made it very clear that he wants to be a first-day dictator. But if you're a first-day dictator, you're going to be a second-day dictator, and you're going to lose your freedom. You're going to lose your rights to vote. What else can you think about? Think about all of those things that you're enjoying now. Think about for the elderly who are senior citizens and who are retired, and there are retired people who are collecting Social Security and people who are collecting their pensions. All of those things that you're enjoying now, I once had a guy told me, and I found it a little too far-fetched at that particular point. He says, one of these days, the government is going to go as far as saying, you got a bank account, your savings that you've been saving for many years to put your kids in college or buy yourself a new home and invest in a company or a business or something like that. All of that money that you saved all your life may not even be yours. The government may take that from you, And I found that a little far-fetched at the time, but stranger things has happened. So when you think about all of these things, think about when you go out to that poll, and on November 5th, 2024, which is not too far away from now, we've got a little less than 7 months before we get there. And I have a feeling they're going to do early voting. You want to get that out of the way, that's fine too. But whether you do early voting or you're going to vote on the actual day, do vote. And for all of you younger people, we need you. We need young voters. We need the women voters, especially the women voters, because their situation is out on the line. They have a special situation that they need to iron out or make sure that it's going to be taken care of, that they don't lose as their freedom of their body, what they would do with their body. Now, a lot of you people may say, something, I'm a pro-lifer. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a pro-lifer, but it's one thing to be a pro-lifer, but this is another thing to say, okay, just because I'm a pro-lifer, that doesn't mean that the rights of a woman should be taken care of. The rights of a woman, of what she wants to do with her body, should be taken care of. And of course, Donald Trump more, you heard him thousands of times say, women should be punishment if they even go that route. women should be punished, you know, as if, he has a whip in a chair. Oh, you did a bad thing. You went out and tried to get an abortion. I am going to punish you. And it's not just the women, too, our doctors. If they cross that boundary, they get put in jail for doing their jobs. And you think about all of that, and think about all the things that you're enjoying that you want to keep that you may possibly lose if Donald Trump Moore becomes President of the United States. By the way, Brian, if you're watching, I received that photo that you were talking about last night on Talkback Live. It's very funny. It is funny. But this election year is not funny. It's serious. So make sure you get out there and vote. It's very important that we all get out there and do our part. And I'm a firm believer that we're going to be fine. I'm a firm believer that none of these things are going to be taken away from us. And I'm a firm believer that Roe v. Wade will be reinstalled. I believe that. And when it happens, think about me that I told you that. C.J. Snare, the frontman of the hard rock band Firehouse, has died. Snare passed away unexpectedly at his home last Friday. Friday night, he was 64 years old. Country music singer Morgan Wallen was arrested in Nashville, Tennessee on felony charges after allegedly throwing a chair off a downtown rooftop for no legitimate purpose. Wallen was booked into jail early Monday morning. 3 counts of recklessness, endangerment, and 1 count of disorderly conduct in the connection of the late Sunday night incident. Raise your latte, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time to toast the Curb. That's Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's the finale that happened Sunday. The TV version of Seinfeld co-creator Larry David aired his final grievances during the HBO comedies ending their mirror the NBC sitcom. David dropped hints that he would revisit the widely criticized 1998 Seinfeld finale throughout the 12th and the final season of Curb, which debuted in the year 2000. Oh, here's something new. Missy Elliott, whose career has let's start that one over here. Take 2. Missy Elliott. I'm so crazy today. Missy Elliott, whose career has provided the very definition of leave 'em wanting more, has long resisted touring, but this is going to be changing in 2024. And along with some high-profile support acts, the hip-hop icon will embark on tour of an arena of 24 cities this year. Shockingly, the first time she's toured as a headliner in her entire career, which began with a bang in the 1990s. And supporting along the way will be a trio of figures that are also instantly recognized to be anyone who knows Elliott's career. And that's Busta Rhymes, Ciara, and Timbaland. Ryan Seacrest and Vanna White gave viewers a glimpse of what they can expect on the next season of Wheel of Fortune. Seacrest is replacing longtime host Pat Sajak this fall after Sajak completes his final season on the popular syndicated game show. Sajak announced June of last year that this current season would be the last as a host. And as for Vanna White, she signed a contract extended to remain on Wheel of Fortune. Good luck. Birthdays. Actress Shannon Doherty. Now I want to say this. She's 53 years old today, but I want to take time. I want to put a pin in this. Sharon Doherty, ladies and gentlemen, as from the drama Beverly Hills 90210. Remember her? Well, she's suffering and and fighting a battle of cancer, and she's in a 4th stage. And so I want everyone to think about her, pray for her. Miracles do happen, but I'm glad she's here today to celebrate her 53rd birthday. Sharon Doherty, actress Sharon Doherty. Actress Alicia Coppola is 56 years old today. Country musician Vince Gill is 67. Actor Andy Garcia is 68. The late David Cassidy, singer David Cassidy, would have been 74. Lois Reed of Martha and the Vandellas, that's Martha Reed's sister, Lois Reed. She's 76 years old today. David Letterman is 77. Ed O'Neill, who's Al Bundy on Married with Children, he's 78 years old today. Frank Bank, he played Lumpy on Leave It to Beaver, the late Frank Bank. He would have been 82. Jazz musician Herbie Hancock is 84. The late Tiny Tim tiptoed through the tulips, 92, would have been 92. Actress, dancer, and singer, the late Ann Miller would have been 101. And the late big band singer Helen Forrest would have been 107 years old. So that's what's happening in the world of entertainment. And there you go. And if you're celebrating a birthday, well, happy birthday to you as well. Young and old alike, you celebrate, everyone celebrates one. And if you're celebrating one today or sometime this weekend, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Now, if you're celebrating a birthday of any time you would like us to acknowledge us or us to acknowledge you on your birthday, please take the time and get in touch with us and let us know. We'll certainly do that. I have an email address and a telephone number, of course. And my email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan. It's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Prod is PROD, that's short for productions. And you can email me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's 365 days a year. Also, the telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Be proactive. Keep that information with you at all times. And if you ever want to get in touch with me, of course, just be proactive. Email me, call me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You may want to say something about the show. You may have ideas about the show, suggestions, and we will certainly listen to you. All you have to do is just type in and let us know. Just do that right away. Leave a message if you call. We will certainly acknowledge that as well. And of course, you want to know about anything about what we do on this show, just get in touch with us. And of course, again, if you're celebrating a birthday of any kind, let us know that too. So let me give you that email address once again. It's frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallanprod at AOL.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Last night on the show, on Talkback Live, for the benefit of those of you who weren't there, shame on you. But listen, I am going to repeat it again. Now, as you already know, when we were on the air around the time that Brian Kemp was doing sports on the air last Friday, and we had a little tremor going on in the studio. We had the shakes. And I didn't say anything until Brian finished the sports, and then I related to him. And then I said, I think it may be an earthquake. And just so happens it turned out to be an earthquake. And Mary Reed, who is out there watching us right now, confirmed the fact that it was an earthquake because she felt it. And then after I got off the air and I went to the green room, turned on the TV, and sure enough, it was big news. Now, last night when I was on, I gave information, a history about earthquakes in New York City. And we had 6 earthquakes in New York City. 3 of them in my lifetime, 3 not in my lifetime. And for some of you who may be younger, maybe you only experienced 2 of them. But we had our first earthquake back in 1783, November 30th of that year. And it was 5.3 on the Richter scale, right? Now, so far, as I look at this information, so far that was the most intense earthquake that New York City ever had. And back then, they didn't call it New York City. I think they call it New Amsterdam. And back in 1884, August 10th of that year, it fell to a 5.2 on the Richter scale. It sure did. 5.2 on the Richter scale. In 1895, And none of us, remember, none of us who are watching right now were there. At least, I don't think you were there. Anyway, it was a 4.3 on the Richter scale on September 1st of that year, 1895. So here we come in 1985. 1985, this was the first earthquake I experienced in my lifetime. I remember it very well, but I don't remember feeling the earthquake because at that particular time I was living in Brooklyn, New York, in front of a train. The train would pass by my house and it would rattle, of course. And I remember my brother called me up and said, "Did you feel that that tremor?" And I said, "Yeah, I just felt the tremor." And every 15 minutes after that, I feel a tremor and a tremor. But what I didn't know is that an earthquake materialized at that particular point. I didn't know because I'm used to feeling tremors. Train passed by, you're going to feel vibrations, right? And I didn't know. And then when I went back to work at the following day, I saw that, went to work, everything that was pinned on the wall, pictures and everything hit the floor. So I didn't realize how much of a tremor it was. That was in 1985, October 19th, 1985. And that was on a 4.0 Richter scale. Here we come up 13 years ago, 2011, August 23rd, 2011. And last week's earthquake, they said it was the most intense earthquake that we ever had. Okay? But according to this, last year's earthquake went to 5.8. 5.8. Now that's bigger than the one in 1783. But the 5.8 that they claimed that the 5.8, it didn't even feel as intense as the one we had last week, which was only 4.8. And so they were saying it on the news, and they said, "Oh, this year's earthquake was more intense than the one we had before." And feeling the vibrations, I can remember that the one that we did 13 years ago, the earthquake that happened 13 years ago, didn't even feel as intense as the one we had Friday. But according to this, it was a 5.8, the highest in the history of New York earthquakes. And of course, last week was 4.8. Now I was watching, getting ready to come here today. I always tune on to Morning Joe, one of my favorite places on MSNBC. And when they were doing the news, I noticed it was shaking. The cameras were shaking, the studio was shaking. And I didn't think anything, but I thought maybe the cameraman was losing his balance, or maybe he lost his tracking area or whatever it is. But then Joe Scarborough mentioned that the studio was shaking. Everybody in the studio said, "Hey, the studio is shaking and we don't know what it is." Now, I didn't feel anything where I was. And then he didn't mention it. He said he was going to double check on it, but I didn't get a chance to stay long enough to know whether or not it was actual an earthquake. So I'm assuming it wasn't. Maybe it was something within inside their building. He said that their building is over a subway station, because that rattles too. But they're high up in the sky as far as their floors are. Studios are up there, so it couldn't have been the subway. I don't know. Don't know what it was, but a lot of people felt after effects. I was told there were like 30 some after effects after that, which I never felt the after effect of this earthquake that materialized last Friday. But that's the history, that's the story. And who knows whether these figures are correct? Who knows? The only thing we do know, there was a 4.8 last Friday. Now the one prior to that, 5.8, who knows? Maybe they got it wrong. But this is what I got. This is the information that I got. So there you have it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us on Talkback Live. We thank you so much. You tell me your opinion, what you think about it. We're going to be here till the top of the hour. We don't have much time to go. So let's say the movies are coming up. We got a weekend coming up and we've got movies. So I only have 2 movies this week. And these are my pick for the weekends, for this weekend. for your week, for this weekend, right? And those of you who are inclined to watch movies or catch up on some movies, I'm just adding these to your list of what to watch. Now, here we are getting started from 1962. This is two musicals I have. And this one is called The Music Man, starring Robert Preston, Shirley Jones, and Buddy Hackett at Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out Friday at 11:45 p.m. We're in the Friday mode here in New York, so that's tonight at 11:45 p.m. So that's pretty late. If you don't plan to stay up that late, you can always DVR these movies and then later on watch them at your own convenience, right? Your own time convenience. So that's The Music Man. Here's another one, 1952, that everyone loves. I love it because I love Gene Kelly. Love the way he dances. Singing in the Rain. Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, and Donald O'Connor. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you get a chance to watch these movies, I think you'll like it. They're both in color. You know, these are not the classics, but you know, they not the black and whites that I usually present to you, but these are good movies. So if you get a chance to do that, watch them, that would be great. Also, go to Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide, because what I gave you are only my picks of the week. There may be others that you may be interested in watching, and you can do that. Go through the line, go through the program guide and look at it. And if you want to watch it in real time, or if you want to DVR them, either one, you get a chance to watch them. All right. And that's why I always send you to Turner Classic Movies, even though I only have my own pick. So you could have more picks too, right? Also, while you're there and you're going on Movie on Demand, there are a lot of great free movies from A to Z, a lot of great movies that you remember, movies you forgot about. They're right there. And they recycle these movies. Sometimes at a certain day, they drop them and bring newer ones on. And so you could watch all of them, but they usually come back as well too. So you got that, and you also have great pay-per-view movies that are in the theater now. You don't have to pay the 16, 17, 18, 19, what is it, $20 to go to the theater now? You can watch it in the comforts of your own home, pop your own popcorn, and drink your own sodas or whatever it is, and watch these movies at home. You pay a little more than you do if you watch the other pay-per-view movies that were once in the theaters but no longer there, but they still linger there, and you can watch those too. Also, they have a lot of great movies and kiddie shows and comedy shows, and of course sporting goods, sporting events that are there. If you missed them, you can always check them out later on demand. And of course, you like Lifetime movies, a lot of people do. They have some that you can watch. All the networks are there, and you can go through all the networks and watch whatever you want, you know. And then people are streaming too as well. You have Netflix and all of it. So you have a lot of entertainment. You'll never get bored if you want to catch up on some movies. Last night I was streaming and watching, they have the Dynasty. I like Dynasty. Remember Dynasty? Well, I was watching some of the episodes on there. They have a Dynasty channel, you know, and it just took me back. So there's a lot of things to indulge in. So let me give you those movies once again, and I hope you get a chance to watch these movies. They're great movies, right? And they're black, they're color movies, and they're musicals. And this is called The Music Man from 1962 with Robert Preston, Shirley Jones, and Buddy Hackett. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday at 11:45 p.m. Eastern. And of course, you have Singing in the Rain from 1952, Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, and Donald O'Connor. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And it's all right there on Turner Classic Movies. I hope you get a chance to watch some of these movies. I think Mary is leaving me early, right? She says, have a good weekend. Okay, Mary, thank you so much. So you get a chance to watch all of those movies. Mary, I think she's going to get a chance to watch some of these movies. If you didn't get all of the movies I told you about, you can always, good thing about this show is that you could always watch the reruns that come about, right? You can always do that. So I want to say hello, and one last time to all of you people who are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all of those fine places that you're watching us. We thank you so much for being along with us. Remember to tell all of your friends about it and let them know that we're out here. Right now, my weekend is officially underway, which means I am headed out the door and I'm headed elsewhere to grace other people. I have graced you for a whole hour, and I thank you so much for taking the time to be with me. I am going to come back here on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me, and he'll bring you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. That's very nice. And of course, we hope that you'll be with me too. And also, you can come back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. Brian Camp will be here. Brian was off today, taking the day off, but watching anyway. But hopefully he'll be back here next week too with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And we look forward to seeing you too. So in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful week, and a wonderful weekend. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, your tax time. Your last day is Monday. Tax day is Monday. So make sure that you straighten that out and get that all together, okay? In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.